What is going on, man? It is your boy Cheek back with another one, and in this one, we are covering the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 1. I got a few headlines on the side, but we are going to get into the box scores as well. But to start off, this game was 88 to 114. I really think in the second half is where it went crazy, where things went left for Minnesota. But overall, it was a good game. However, where was Rudy Gobert? Where was Rudy Gobert in this game, guys? Rudy Gobert went completely MIA, and you just can't afford to play like that in this magnitude of a game. You know what I'm saying? In this game one, you were away, but like, what are you doing? Like, Rudy Gobert had 2 points, 1 assist, and 3 rebounds. Only played 21 minutes, but come on, bro. Come on, bro. Where was Rudy? Rudy. Coming into this game, I thought that that would be one of the things that will actually help, the Timberwolves as far as just that defensive presence on the inside. I think he is a lot further along defensively than Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. However, he just completely disappeared in this game, and he cannot afford to do that again. Another thing that I want to key in on in this game was turnovers. Way too many turnovers. Way too many turnovers for Minnesota. Minnesota could not afford to have this many turnovers. They had 17 turnovers to OKC's 12, and that's just not gonna fly. That's not gonna fly. As we speak in the turnovers, we're gonna kind of hit on the role players as well, because I just want to say that the Thunder's role players played far better than the role players of the Timberwolves. Them complimentary guys for the Thunder just made sure that they was gonna do what they made sure to do what they needed to do. Their confidence was through the roof. They shot the ball tremendously well. Like they just shot the ball great. It was just everything just went their way. I feel like they were very confident. I feel like they played confident even when certain shots didn't fall, or Minnesota was trying to rally. I feel like the Thunder were just snapping right back really quickly and getting it together. That's what you want to see from this team in the playoffs. This is a young team that I think many questioned coming into the playoffs because of their youth. But we're starting to see really fast that this is a team that can definitely make some noise. And I think that not even definitely make noise. We in the Western Conference Final. They already made the noise. But I just think that, like, as the future, as we get deeper and deeper into the future with this squad right here, I think the Thunder has definitely, did what they were supposed to do. Shout out to that organization. Shout out to their staff for putting together this team, because these young guys, they got it, man. Jalen Williams looking good. Shai just definitely didn't look wavered too much, no matter what was going on in the game. Seemed very confident, always very confident in his abilities, but it wasn't the best shooting night. However, he still was taking them shots that was needed, and putting a lot of pressure on the Timberwolves defense. 101 Shai is definitely one of the hardest guys to guard, and he proved it last night. He drew a lot of fouls. A lot of people was talking about the fouls, but I don't think that it was that bad, because when you look at the free throw numbers for both teams, it was close. It was like 21 to 26. So you can't really blame it on the fouls, man. I just think it was the role players, and then three no D. Too many threes for Minnesota. I want to say the defensive intensity was there at times, but not enough defense to be putting up those threes. Role players like Jaden McDaniels didn't even get up too many shots. He didn't shoot it terribly, but I just think that I just want to say I don't feel like the confidence was there offensively for him, because when he's hitting multiple shots, he shoots a lot more, which he should, and I think he can actually catch fire. But I think with certain things being against them, them being away, I feel like offensively they were pretty timid at certain points. Julius Randle played phenomenal, and you want to see that when Ant isn't having the craziest of games. But even Ant, I think, should have took a little more shots. You know what I'm saying? Because you got guys like DiVincenzo off the bench who's shooting a lot more shots than I would say he should have. You know what I'm saying? Jaden McDaniels was 5 for 15. Um, so oh, pardon me. Not 5 for 15. He was 3 for 5. He was 3 for 5. Jaden McDaniels was 3 for 5, and it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible, but you definitely I want to see him shoot more than that. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him get comfortable and take a little more shots than that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. From the 3-point percentage standpoint, it was 29% from the three. Doing 29%, but then giving up 52%, 11 for 21, and you shot 51 threes compared to 21 threes. It's like, come on, guys. What are we doing here? I don't know. I don't know if that's the type of basketball you wanna play after seeing what happened to the Celtics. You know, my Knicks just packed them up. All them threes, and you be behind in points. You be behind in games really fast. But OKC got the win at home. They did what they were supposed to do, and I think they just played the way they were supposed to play. Like I said, can't stress it enough. Their complimentary guys really got it done. You got Jalen Williams with 19, Chet 15, Hartstein 12. You got Alex Caruso with 9. He only missed one field goal. He was 3 for 4, 3 threes, and just it's really good play. Kendrick Williams 8, Isaiah Joe 7. I think all of the guys that they needed to step up when they needed them stepped up and got it done. Really supported Shai the way they were supposed to. And it was just overall just a good game for OKC. And this is the scary part about it. Shai wasn't even too hot, man. He wasn't Shai wasn't too hot. So to see the game pan out like that is like, come on. Like if you Minnesota, you got some things to be worried about. Cause he wasn't too hot. Like he honestly wasn't too hot, bro. Like he didn't have a crazy night. He shot, what did he shoot? What did he shoot? He shot let me see. They shot 10 for 27. So he did have the 14 free throws, made 11 of them. But 10 for 27, if he's not shooting that well and your team is still able to get away with a win, that's very scary if you're Minnesota. Because now, when you know he's going to be on, you got to make sure that you can suppress them other guys so that it's not meaning much. Because if these other guys could keep it clicking like this and Shai could get hot, like we know he can, Minnesota is in a world of trouble. Minnesota's in a world of trouble. And then you don't want to get to a point where you're relying on Julius Randle too much. Like, I think trying to rely on Julius Randle to be that guy, he a former Knick, and I love what he's been able to do in Minnesota. He was a guy for us too. He was the guy for us before we made certain moves. So there's no shade to him. But if you get to a point where you're relying on Julius Randle to get 28 in every game this series, you're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? You definitely don't want that, and you don't want Ant you don't want Ant to not have the support that is needed to win this game. Rudy Gobert laid the egg. He was MIA. Jaden McDaniels 3 for 5, 1 for 3. It's like, that's not gonna do it. Mike Conley 2 for 8, 1 for 5 on the 3-point line, 7 points in the game. 3 assists, not gonna do it. And then like when you go to them actual turnover numbers, 5 for Randall, 3 for McDaniels, 4 for 8E, 3 for Nas Reed. Nas Reed was 1 for 11. 1 for 11. DiVincenzo, 3 for 14. 3 for 12 from the 3-point line. Nas Reed, 0 for 7 from the 3-point line. Gilgeous-Alexander Walker, 3 for 11. 2 for 9 from the 3-point line. That is not going to cut it, guys. Those numbers right there are not going to cut it. And if we continue to see this throughout the series, I'm telling you, they're going to be in trouble. And I do think that if you ask me for like predictions right now, I do think that Minnesota gets 2 games. But I think that's about it. I think that's all they get in this series. I think it's going to be 4-2 when it's all said and done. I do think the Oklahoma City Thunder is a better overall team. However, if Ant can have some big performances, that's what it's going to take. Ant is going to have to really take over. Like, he's going to have to go, yeah, he's going to have to go ultimate. He's going to have to go super digital, super viral for them to win this series based on what it's looking like right now. You know what I'm saying? We got to see the likes of a Jaden McDaniels or somebody else have a big game outside of relying on Julius Randle like that. Julius Randle had 28, played outstanding, but I know he's not going to be the guy to get you over the hump in this series. He's just not. Like, and that's not no shade to him, but he's not going to be the guy to get you over the hump in this series. You're going to need Anthony Edwards to beat Ant, and it's gonna take those other supporting cast guys to do a little more than they did in this game to make it happen. I don't think the 3-pointers is the way out neither. I don't even want to rely on these guys to make the amount of threes or even half of the amount of threes that they took You know, that's 12 for DiVincenzo. I think we need to get him shooting a comfortable 8. You know what I'm saying? Nas Reed shot 7. I think he need to take a comfortable 5 to 3 to 5. You know, if anything, to kill Alexander Walker. He shot 9. Okay, but I still want to bring that down to about 7, and that's if he's clicking on the other threes. Like that's if some of them is falling. You don't need to be taking that many threes, you know, trying to play catch up. I think you play physical, get to the basket, and you know, make them work on defense, make them work defensively. I think defensively both teams came with some intensity, but I think in the second half the Thunder really just started to take off, and I think the Timberwolves just started trying to put them up, trying to play catch up. Ant shot 8 threes, 3 for 8. You know, I don't really mind that too much. If anything, I want to say I want to see him shoot more, not shoot more threes, but I just want to see him trying to work into the paint, work into that mid range. You know, low in and out, low in and out. But I think the other guys not shooting well, you know, definitely is gonna play a factor into him, you know, struggling to get those shots. If those other guys are hitting shots, it's gonna open up some lanes for him. And he just really didn't get anything out of anybody else outside of Julius Randle in this game. And I can't stress it enough. That is not the way out. That is not the way to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. Granted, they were at home. It is only game 1. But you know, Thunder looked really good. Minnesota Timberwolves competed for a while, but then it just started to look ugly later and later in the game. The second half was really the tell of the tape. That big third quarter for the Thunder really just changed the game. 32-18 third quarter, and then 38-22 fourth quarter to close it out. And like I said, just a second half wave by the Thunder. And this team has just been phenomenal all season long. And I'm excited to see, you know, how this goes, man. Shai edges Ant in game 1. Shai did what he needed to do. He handled business and edge Ant in game 1. And it's going to be interesting to see if he can keep this thing going. I believe he can. I believe he can. I do think that Anthony Edwards, just because of the confidence and, you know, the intensity that he plays with, I think he, I don't know. He just gives me a little more competitive nature than I think Shai does. But you know, you can never count him out. Shai is super skilled. I don't think it's nothing that he can do on the floor. However, just that competitive spirit and that swag, that aura of Anthony Edwards just make me think that, you know, when it comes to a head-to-head matchup, that you know, you want to lean Ant's way, but Shai edges him in game 1. And I think, you know, when you look at the landscape of the Western Conference and these young guys coming up now and taking a helm from some of the guys that's leaving out, it's their league now. It's their time. It's their turn. And if you Anthony Edwards, this is big. Like, you know, he was saying that he feels like he's better than them. We've been seeing a lot of that talk going back and forth in the media. Shai says he should feel that way. Shai is like playing an MVP like season. And it's gonna be interesting to see how these guys, you know, duel it out for the rest of this series, man. I'm excited. It was a very good game 1, but Shai and the Thunder definitely edged them in game 1, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. So appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Drop some comments in the chat. What do y'all think about these topics? Where was Rudy? You know, too many turnovers, role players. How did you guys feel that the role players played? Who do you guys feel are the key role players in this series? What do they have to do to get their teams over the hump? Threes, no defense. How do y'all feel about these teams taking these high volume amount of threes? Like I said, we've seen the Celtics try to do the same thing against the Knicks. Did not work. I don't think it's a recipe for winning basketball if your team is not like that. Everybody's not the Warriors, guys. Sorry. And you know, until guys, you know, see that and figure that out, a lot of teams gonna be in trouble. And then Shai edges Ant in game 1. Do you think Ant bounces back in game 2? Do you think we'll see much of the same at home? Do you think it's gonna take Minnesota to go home, get some confidence to turn this thing around? But right now, 1-0 in favor of the Thunder. Hit that like button, subscribe, and comment. It's your boy Cheek Mula, and welcome to Mulaverse TV. Peace.